Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. We had some crazy weather that came through today, and so I forgot to take my lighter and stuff out. So when it gets wet, it does not work, so trying to shake it out. And there's some crazy weather. I think Game Time Brian said that they had a tornado go through his neighborhood. His house is okay, but there's some serious ones that have gone across the United States, and probably tomorrow we're going to see some horrific events. The weather is just no joke out here. And it's been crazy because we've had so much rain this past week. We have probably gotten more rain this past week than we've had months combined, because it has just been terribly dry, and hopefully all the aquifers are getting filled up. So I had my live stream here Friday night and I guess I should probably do more live streams, because I do basically Sunday, Friday night, and Monday. And in comparison to most people, you've got people that do live streams 2 or 3 a day, and I guess I'm falling behind in keeping up with that. During my live stream tonight, I was playing a clip from 4th and 1, Cam Newton, and I forgot what he called him. Wait, what did he call? It wasn't a roughneck, but he was basically talking about players that the Cowboys have had in the past, like T.O. or Des Bryant. I'll say, Roy Williams, Pac-Man Jones, Greg Hardy, and I'll put Charles Haley out there. And these are guys that, have an edge to them. And that's George Pickens. And here was the thing that he brought out, which is actually really interesting. He said, when you get these kind of guys on your team, generally speaking, you got guys that have problems that are off the field. Hanging in the club, getting in trouble with women, speeding and drinking and driving and these kind of things. He said, problems on the field, we can handle. He said, that's George Pickens. George Pickens' problem is he wants to win and he wants the football. And he said, in some regards, he said, you need that kind of guy who's not going to take it lying down when shit's not going right. That it's going to be, oh, well, I guess we'll get him that. No. You want a dog. That's what I like to refer to him at, is George Pickens being a dog. Some guys with some edge that can fire up others. And I think that that's actually a great match. But here's where I think the benefit is for the Dallas Cowboys. For the most part, the guys that brought in are similar to what Dan Quinn had. If you know, Cowboys were great at getting after the passer. Tall, lean, fast guys and things, which is what we did really, really well with Dan Quinn. Now, the problem with being a team that's a great pass rusher, you can have great numbers if your offense is doing their damn thing. And here's the problem for the Cowboys, or actually, here's where the Cowboys have gotten some help for the defense. You look at our defense right now, and we're going to be great with Donovan Easy, Micah Parsons, Sam Williams, Dante Fowler, Osa Ndigazua. We're going to be a defense that's going to be able to get after the quarterback. We get Overshown back, that's going to help even more. We get Diggs back, that's going to help out a lot more as far as our defense goes. But here's the thing that I was saying before, as we were picking up free agents. I said, you need an offense that's going to score a lot of points. Because if the Cowboys can score a lot of points, you will make teams one-dimensional. Because they're going to have to try and catch up with you. They're going to have to abandon the run, which is the Cowboys' Achilles heel. You see where I'm going here. This is where the Cowboys have actually gotten some help, because with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, you now have the deep threat and the quick strike ability. That if it ends up being toe for toe, we're dropping bombs away. You got two guys that are going to be able to get open, or both of them aren't going to be able to be covered. And Dak Prescott is pretty good at hitting guys that are open. You're going to stretch the field, and you're going to get back to scoring a lot of points. And if the Cowboys can score points in bunches, the running defense really doesn't matter quite as much. And see, here's the problem for the Cowboys was, in past years with Dan Quinn, we were really good at rushing the passer in the regular season. A lot of times, you jump on people, have a big score, and teams had to abandon the run. The problem was, you got to the playoffs, you couldn't score points in the same bunches that you could before, mainly because you're playing better teams, and your depth, excuse me, I think I swallowed a bug. You didn't have the horses and the depth because you were nicked up and worn out. See, where the depth comes in is you only have so many hits on your body through the course of a season. But if you have role players or depth guys that you can rotate in there, you'll be fresher when the playoffs come. Gotta get this bug up. The Cowboys have been so top heavy in the past that going to the second tier guy wasn't an option for very much. So by the time you got to the playoffs, you're not as strong as you could be at the beginning of the season. And that's where it shows. And because of that, you're not scoring points in the same way that you were earlier in the season. And now, teams are able to, because the game is close, run the football and expose your defense. Well, guess what? You have two guys that are going to stretch the field and get separation. And with that, that's actually going to open up more lanes for running the football. Do you realize because the Cowboys could not really rush the football, that teams did not have to put 8 men in the box. And because they didn't have to put 8 men in the box, they could double up on CeeDee Lamb and nobody else was a threat. Well, here's where people will say the Cowboys, that they're not going to win 7 games. I got to look at this and say, having Dak Prescott back, and you have to say that Tyler Guyton, whatever you want to say about him from last year, can't get worse. He only has one direction to go, is up. Cooper Beebe was a beast last year. Tyler Smith was always a beast. And if we're more balanced, Terrence Steele will be better. And Tyler Booker will probably be better than Brock Hoffman and an injured Zach Martin. So our offensive line, surprisingly enough, may be about the most stable it's been, with the exception of 23. 2020, it wasn't. Terrence Steele's rookie year. 22, Tyron Smith, a lot of injuries. 21 and 22, a lot of injuries for Tyron Smith. 24, Biotish gone, Tyron Smith gone, and Zach Martin injured. So the course of the last 4 seasons, we had 1 year where the offensive line was good. And I think that this one will be at least second in comparison. And if we have an offensive line better than some of those years we had, with some younger running backs, a healthy Dak Prescott on a mission, and an extra weapon, this team will be better. Now, Michael Irvin put us out there at 12-5. I'm not quite ready to go that far, but I will say that this team is definitely better. And I will also say, I think Catboy is enjoying making moves that I think he likes. I think being on the other side of this, as opposed to doing the frugal moves and getting called Catboy, that Stephen Jones is enjoying all of the publicity of doing big moves. And I think he's getting a little bit of high on making these moves And maybe you'll continue to do it because you get a whole lot more love when you make a move that definitely makes your team better than constantly saying, we believe in our own guys. And I think Stephen Jones maybe is enjoying getting love for once. So for all those out there cussing out Catboy because they haven't gotten Micah Parsons done, I get it. We'll get it done. You know, just because it's on your schedule to be done doesn't mean it's on theirs. But I got to look at this and say, we're a better team right now than we were this time last year. And that's a start. So, with that being said, I'm working on getting myself back to life and back to reality. And bit by bit, it's getting there. And I appreciate so many people that have sent me text messages or reached out on Facebook or emails and checking on me. You guys are the ones that are keeping me sane. And I appreciate that. And as I always tell y'all, don't ever forget to tell the people you love how much you love them. Because you might not get the chance again. And I love you guys. And God willing, we'll all see each other tomorrow.